So Ilia Topuria knocks out Alexander Volkanovski. And I'm not going to get into all the details we went over in other videos. Please go check out my video about Ilia Topuria. It's called Ilia Topuria's Unstoppable Destiny, and also pre-fight breakdown of the main event as well. We have touched several keys for both athletes to achieve success, and for Ilia Topuria as well. So the crazy thing about Ilia Topuria is that he is originally not a striker. Now everybody kind of sees him as this strikerish character because he has a very crisp boxing, as we know, and very powerful punches. But originally he has more of a grappling background with wrestling and jiu-jitsu background rather than a striking background. And this people tend to forget because of his hands. He did most of the work in his previous few fights with his hands, even though he did submit, throw and then submit Bryce Mitchell. Kind of what sticks out is his boxing and his striking and his movement and his incredible power. Anybody who will tell you that, oh, Volkanovski got knocked out because of the previous loss to Makhachev, I think it's unwarranted, to be honest with you. And even Volkanovski discussed that in his own right, and credit to him as well, that anybody who would have been hit by that shot would have been knocked out, period. And I don't see Volkanovski pre-Makhachev or pre-anybody taking that shot and continuing the fight. Volkanovski was knocked out for quite a while after those shots, and it was one of those brutal knockouts which we have witnessed from Ilia already several times, where he's putting people out. Okay, it was not like the previous match, previous fight against Makhachev, where it was more of a TKO loss, and Volkanovski still had his senses. Now it was a clean KO. It doesn't get much cleaner than that. And let's be honest, how many people has Topuria dropped lifeless like that? So to go back to the previous point about his wrestling and grappling, we have seen Volkanovski fight other strikers and do very well against them, but against somebody like Pantera Rodriguez, he chose the easier path to victory, which kind of Craig Jones alluded to would be maybe the choice of his strategy in this fight as well. But they failed to realize, which I have discussed in other videos as well, that he's not Pantera, okay? He's not the guy with no takedown defense pretty much, or very low level takedown defense. This guy's an elite grappler, elite wrestler, not just the guy with a takedown defense. He has a great ground game and is arguably as dangerous or more dangerous on the ground as he is on the feet. It kind of baffles me that the MMA analysts and experts all around kind of failed to realize that before this fight, that no, Volkanovski is good, but he's not going to be able to ragdoll Topuria like he's the strongest person and everything. He's like welterweight. Okay, bro, I mean, what do you think? Topuria feels like a flyweight. So Topuria will be a nightmare for a lot of people who will want to kind of play that wrestling type of game with him, because taking him down will be very hard, especially consistently. You may get a timed takedown on him and maybe get some control time, or maybe not, but overall it's going to be a nightmare to take him down repeatedly and avoid his power, and also not get counter wrestled. So until now there were excuses that, oh, it was Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett was a nobody, even though Rodriguez got his title shot against Volkanovski by beating him as well, and it was nowhere near the domination level, even though he finished him. But it was submission of the back, which is very respectable, but it was not like I'm levels above you, bro. It was not. And now, since he finished Volkanovski, in a way which is very consistent with his other brutal finishes. A lot of people will understand that, okay, this guy is a finisher, period, not against some random guys, right, which were never random to begin with. What this will lead to, a lot of people will avoid exchanging with him on any level and getting any type of confidence, even in a fight where they might be even winning. So what does that leave them with? What can you do against him then? You're gonna wrestle him? Okay. Legit, Topuria might really be right now, just objectively, pound for pound, number one guy, skill-wise. That doesn't mean that he cannot lose. This is a crazy game, and this is one of the reasons why I love when people are overconfidently predicting things, how somebody's going to get destroyed and making mockery of somebody, but he may actually be the number one pound for pound, which Volkanovski was in his own right before lost to Makhachev, and then the second loss to Makhachev, and now lost to Ilia Topuria. At that time he was for sure. Skill-wise he earned it. I don't know if resume-wise Ilia earned it yet, but I think skill-wise he may very well be the number one guy in UFC. He is, I told you before, and I'm gonna tell you again, elite in all of the areas of mixed martial arts pretty much, and he has a good IQ as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the fight and about Ilia Topuria, as well as his future prospects. What do you want to see him do next?